we are going to be doing today, chapter 4, lesson 3. You're going to multiply fractions with fractions, and you're also going to make area models with them. You only have to make 3 area models, and you can pick any 3 that you want to do. You don't have to do it on any more than 3. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is looking at an area model, because sometimes it helps us also solve a problem. You don't have to do this forever and ever. This is just so that you can see why this happens, why you get that answer, and not just simply like, oh, multiply numerators, multiply denominators, but then you go, I don't know why. All I know is that I multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So here, we're going to show you how to create an area model. Okay? It says 1/3 of 1/4. That multiplication sign means of. If you're taking 1/3 of 1/4, then I'm going to draw the area model for the 4th first. So you're saying you're making a third size group out of 1/4. Remember time we bought a cake? It's a rectangle. Whoops. And I'm saying I'm taking a third of the 1/4. So I'm going to do the second fraction first, because that's what it's represented first. And if you notice, the denominator will tell you always the total amount of slices. And in our situation, it's cake, so slices of cake. What does the denominator say, kids?
Cake. 4.
4, yes. It says 4. So we're going to then slice it into how many sections?
4.
4, yes. So please don't write, just pay attention for right now. You're going to do plenty of these. So I'm going to slice it into 4 sections. Okay? And then it tells me, the numerator will tell me how many to shade. How many are you going to shade? 1, yes. Okay? That's my first fraction. I just did that. Okay, 1/4 of this cake. Now it says you're going to do 1/3 of 1/4. Now let's just say we have this cake. We're really excited to cut it. I said, okay, cut it into fourths, and you just did that, and you shaded in one of them. Now we're going to further divide this into thirds. We're going to do, now this was the columns. This is what we first did. We made 4 columns, 4 slices. So I'm going to put the 1/4 up here to represent. Okay. Now we're going to do thirds. So we're going to go and make rows. The denominator tells me how many total rows I will cut. How many? 3. Okay. So I'm going to slice it like this. Good so far? The top tells me how many I'm going to circle, what I'm going to be looking at. It's only one of the 3 rows am I going to be circling. So it doesn't matter where you circle it. I'll circle it down below here. This represented a third. Now, I circled 1 because 1 was a numerator here. That is why I circled 1 of them. Does that make sense? And then you ask yourself, now the answer is in the circle. How many are shaded? 1. Out of how many total boxes?
12.
And the answer is 1/12. Okay. Now, obviously you could easily go, oh, fractions. Once you understand this, nobody wants to sit there and draw 1 every single time for the rest of your life. But you do need to understand what you're doing with the fractions. That's why you're drawing the models. However, obviously, once I get this, I don't have to draw these. So I just go numerator times numerator. 1 times 1 is 1. And 3 times 4 is 12. And then I always ask myself, can I simplify it? And from now on, you will always have to simplify fractions. So don't ask me, do I have to simplify? It's always going to be yes, you have to simplify. Okay? Let's go to B. So everyone, don't go ahead. All you're going to do is draw a rectangle. So first step, draw a rectangle. Everyone. You hold it up so I can see that you're on this step. So you're gonna be quick about it, so you gotta move quick. A rectangle.
She said triangle.
Okay, you look at the second fraction, because that tells you what we start with. This is half of 3/5, so this part has to go first. So we have a cake, let's pretend, and we're gonna cut it into how many, tell your neighbor, how many total slices are you gonna cut it into?
5.
5 is correct, because the denominator always represents the total. So everyone slice it into 5 and then just hold it up. Don't go ahead. Ay, if I can draw a straight line, that would be amazing. Hold it up. Five slices. But good, yes. Thank you. Now the numerator tells us how many we're going to shade in of those columns. How many are we going to shade in? Tell your neighbor.
3.
Okay, go ahead, shade it in. And I'm going to put the top here says 3/5 because that's what that represents. Now the side, we're going to create rows. And the first fraction tells you how many rows we're going to have. If you look at the denominator, how many rows will we have? 2. So go ahead, cut this in half to get 2 slices. Okay, hold it up, see if you're there yet. Perfect. And then the top number tells us how many of those rows we're going to circle. How many rows are we circling? 1. So it doesn't matter if you circle the top row or the bottom row, just circle 1. And then tell me how many in that circled row are shaded.
3.
That's your called your what? Numerator. Out of how many total pieces do you have there, slices?
10.
Yes, out of 10. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like I said, we're not doing this for the rest of our life. We're not gonna sit there and draw a rectangle. That's impossible. Just so you understand what is happening here. So in the normal way we do it, we just go 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 5 is 10, right? But this tells you why it happens. I can guarantee you, ask adults, they would be like, I don't know why it's 10. All I know is that I multiply the numerators and the denominators. That's all I know. Then you always ask yourself, can you simplify it? What's the answer to that? 3 tenths, can we simplify it? No, this one is like, it's died, a painful death. 3 tenths. Okay, now you're gonna do this one from start to finish. You have to do the rectangle, you have to do everything. So you can go ahead and pause it, Kirsten, so you can do your rectangle, and then we'll